Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, back with another On 3 Signee Spotlight. And we have 4-star Michigan offensive line signee, Amir Herring. Amir, how's it going, man? You're in a car on the way to Michigan right now, man.
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. So we're pre-recording this, but Amir is on his way to Michigan to hang out, kind of get ready for the experience. I mean, by the time we run this video, you're gonna have signed. You're gonna be a Michigan Wolverine. It feels like a long time coming. How excited are you to put pen to paper?
I'm very excited just to finally make it really just official. It's going to be a surreal feeling because I feel like I just really just put the work in really through my whole football career. And just overall, this is a big stepping stone to where I want to go.
So I say it's a long time coming because I've been covering you for what, like 3 years now. So it feels like it's been a long time. I always kind of had the feeling that you were a Michigan type of kid. I know it took a little while to get committed the summer of this year, but why was Michigan that right fit for you? Why did you think it was home?
Michigan, just overall, really the offensive line culture and really the culture they have in the program really attracted me to, making that decision to commit to the program. And overall, just seeing the continuous domination of the offensive line, really, back to back Joe Moore awards after yesterday. So overall, I feel like Coach Moore is the best offensive line coach in the country, and we have the best offensive line room in the country.
It's an easy segue. What was your, reaction when you saw that Michigan was the first to go back to back in the Joe Moore Award?
It's just like it's just history made overall. Just seeing Olu and the rest of the guys on the offensive line who played this year, just overall they did their thing just all through the year. Constant games where they dominated and took over games. And Coach Moore, he just put the guys in the right position to make those plays overall.
So I know you've had a chance to work out with Coach Moore in some camp settings. Obviously, you've went out to the game, saw him, in action. What were your thoughts on just his coaching style, and what do you think you can learn from a guy like him?
Coach Moore, he's a technician really, just overall as a coach. Just I love working with him because he always teaches me like bits and pieces of the game, really the details, really about the game, and just overall things that I could just add to my game. That's why it was big this summer. Just at the barbecue, we did a little workout before, and just overall, he just taught me some things, just to add in my game this season that I feel like was a big part of the season.
So I know Jim Harbaugh was personally involved in your recruitment as well. I know you've had a chance to meet with him on several different occasions as well. Tell me a little bit about Jim Harbaugh and your relationship with him.
Coach Harbaugh, me and Coach Harbaugh has a really good relationship, just overall. Anything really I just need from him, he just overall he's super open and transparent really with me and my family. And it was an easier really decision when it came down to the end because of his transparency really and us getting, familiar with him and being comfortable with him all through the process, which made it an easy choice for Michigan.
So you had a unique experience. You had a with Samaj Morgan and his family. Tell me about the in-home with Coach Harbaugh and being around kind of the Morgan family for one big party.
It was actually really fun. Just overall, I've been knowing Samaj forever. Basketball, football, played a lot of sports together. So overall, it was a really good in-home visit, and we got the opportunity, to talk to with Coach Moore and Coach Bell, and Coach Harbaugh, and just our families just together. We get along super well. So overall, it was a really good setting.
Was there anything that the coaches said on that in-home or anything that Coach Harbaugh did that really caught your attention or moved the needle for you?
Just it was just him just expressing how we fit into the system and how we're going to fit in the program. Really, just how he sees me as a player, how I can fit around the offensive line and in the offensive line room, and just talking with Coach Moore and Coach Harbaugh.
You mentioned that you're really close to Samaj. You've known him since, I guess, you guys were in preschool, so quite a long time. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with him. How excited you are to have a teammate go up with you to Michigan in the same class.
Samaj, he's a really good player. He can do a lot of things in the offense, which makes him a special guy. And just all around, he's a really good person. Just he makes a lot of things happen on the field. Electrifying type of player. You can put him on punt return, kick return. Even if you want to play defense, put him at nickel, corner. I feel like he's a multi-dimensional player just overall. It makes him a special guy. me and just have a really good relationship just over the years.
So you have a couple of other West Bloomfield guys on the team. Donovan Edwards, I know you were close to. Makari Page is also on the Michigan roster. Talk a little bit about the West Bloomfield pipeline and having those guys to look up to as mentors.
Just West Bloomfield, just overall, it's a really close, tight knit, really family environment there. Just from like the players and the coaches, just overall, we keep in touch with a lot. We keep in touch a lot with the alumni from West Bloomfield. So just overall, just keeping in touch with Donovan and Makari, just talking with them, asking how their experience has been so far, has been was a really big help in my recruitment. And now getting the opportunity, be teammates with them once again in Ann Arbor is going to be a big deal.
So Donovan in particular, I know was really close to you, and I know you hang out with him every time you go out there. How impressed have you been just with the steps Donovan has taken and seeing him have that huge game in the Big Ten title?
Donovan I knew he was going to have a breakthrough at the end of the season. He really came up big for the team. Just overall, I feel like he's just been waiting on his opportunity to show kind of the nation what he's about. And he took full advantage of his opportunities in Ohio State game in the Big Ten championship. And it just showed.
So a big reason for the West Bloomfield connection is your old head coach Ron Bellamy. I know he was on the in-home as well. Talk a little bit about Ron Bellamy, your relationship with him, and just what fans might not know about him. You know him best. You've been with him for years.
Coach Bellamy, just overall, he's a really loving guy, really. Just overall, he really makes you feel comfortable and like you're at home, really. Just me and Coach Bellamy, we go like way back. Basically like 14 years old, me coming into West Bloomfield, not knowing really a lot of people, not really knowing much about the program. He just really made it real comfortable for me to come in and, be who I am as a player today. And just overall, I can't be more thankful for my time with Coach Bellamy in that 2-year span, and now getting to rejoin with him and be one of my coaches in Michigan.
So going back to fit, you said you had a chance to talk to Coach Harbaugh, Coach Moore about fit. You watched the offensive line closely throughout the year. How do you see yourself fitting in that group along Michigan's offensive line?
I feel like I fit very well in their system. Like I said, like a road grader type of player in the system, and just I feel like I can bring a lot of different things to the offensive line room. I feel like I can play all over the offensive line as a whole, and just me, I can see myself and vision myself being in the position that a lot of those guys are in.
This recruiting process has been a long one for you. I mean, like I said, we've known each other for so long. What's been your favorite moment throughout this recruiting process? Just whether it's something recruiting related, Michigan related, what's been something that's really stood out to you about this?
My favorite thing about my recruitment, probably the barbecue 2 years ago.
The barbecue 2 years ago. Why
Yeah,
that one?
because it was just really fun, and it was a lot of like Michigan guys, and the players came over, and we went to Coach Harbaugh's house and all of that. So it was a really good setting, and it was a really good meet for like everybody, and I got really cool with the players through that, and just I felt like Michigan was in a really good spot. That's when Coach Moore got newly hired, and I got to meet him and get familiar with him. So just overall, I feel like that was one of the best times, like in my recruitment. I say that was a big recap of my recruiting journey.
My favorite memory of you is when just it happened like a couple of months ago, man. I feel like again we've known each other for so long. There's been so many times, but something that a lot of people call you is a humble beast, and you're always out there trying to help others. And when we thought we were in some trouble out at West Bloomfield during the cast game, you're just helping people jump fences and stuff. And so I know Michigan's getting a Michigan type of kid with Amir Herring. And along with that is just the academic side, too. I mean, you're a great student in the classroom. Tell me a little bit about your aspirations away from the field.
So my major is going to be kinesiology and exercise science at Michigan. So I want to go in the medical field, and that I feel like that gives me the opportunity to help people really in a system that needs help, really. So That was a big thing for me. And Michigan, they have one of the top medical programs in the country, and that's why it was big for me. And that was a big factor in my decision in going there.
And going back to the field, where do you see maybe yourself and the Michigan team at in, say 3 years by the time you're, getting into your junior year?
Just overall, I feel like we're gonna have a couple more Big Ten championships by that time. And just overall, I feel like we're gonna have a couple more Joe Moore awards by that time. Also, continuing the legacy of really the offensive line culture at Michigan is a big deal in the room and from Coach Moore's perspective. And just overall, I like how the program builds it around kind of the offensive line, defensive line, finishing guys in the fourth quarter. That's what I really like about the program and where it's going.
What about your class in general? I mean, how tight have you guys become, and what do you think your class can do at Michigan?
I feel like our class is going to be really, really good overall because I feel like a lot of people is like doubting us because we don't have the 5-star recruits or we're not a star-studded class. But I feel like we got the right pieces for Michigan and guys who fits the Michigan mold overall. And I'm really tight with the class. We try to talk about every day, just really about just checking in with just everybody and see how everybody's doing really.
The last question for you is, what should Michigan fans know about Amir Herring? What do you like to do outside of football? Kind of give us your favorite interests and hobbies.
So actually, I like fishing and I like cooking. I'll probably say those are my top two things.
Fishing and cooking. Okay, what do you make the best? What's your best dish? I mean, you're a lineman. You have to eat some good food.
Probably mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is
Mac and
probably my
cheese.
best thing to make.
You gotta dive into the lobster mac and cheese. You gotta take that next step. What about fishing wise? You go out to like the bay, or where do you go fishing at?
So I just go along like the river, like the Detroit River, and go fishing with my mom. Really, that's probably our best like off time thing in the summertime. Some spring and summer
Well,
overall.
well, there you go. Fishing, eating, offensive lineman, a mean road grader coming to Michigan. Amir, it's been a pleasure covering you. Really has. Thank you for all the interviews and everything throughout the process, man. I'll always be an Amir Herring fan. So excited to see you at Michigan.
Thank you so much.